Galaxy S6 ushered in a new era for Samsung, one that finally made their designs relevant and highly coveted. All the work put into it was great, like really great, but some critics would call out how they took away a couple of the conveniences we grew comfortable finding with the S5. Well, they listened, and they're delivering the goods with its latest flagship. Hey guys, John V from Phone Arena here. You're watching our video review of the Samsung Galaxy S7. Let's talk about its performance first, before we get to the really good stuff. This year's S7 line uses two different chipsets. International versions are powered by Samsung's own Exynos 8890, but in our case, it's a Snapdragon 820 for US-bound variants. So far, it's proven to be quite an effective package, producing buttery operations and responses just about everywhere you look, including graphics processing, where it's a beast at. It also introduces Game Launcher, a feature specifically tooled for gamers. Essentially, it gives us the option to disable certain notifications for uninterrupted play, as well as the option to screen record the action. The TouchWiz UI is layered on top of Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow. There's not a tremendous difference to this year's flavor. That's not a bad thing, since it's incredibly powerful and covers the gamut. For power users, they'll love all the multitasking features, and at the same time, many of the advanced features are set to off by default. So it's still straightforward and streamlined to please those who don't want the hassles. Call quality has been vastly improved over its predecessor. For one, it adopts the extra volume mode we first saw with the Note 5, so there's plenty of volume through the earpiece. Speaking of the earpiece, it's powerful, loud, and voices have great clarity. And that also extends to the other end of the line too. However, the speakerphone's a bit too underpowered for our liking. That becomes more realized as we use the phone to listen to music, just because its peak output reaches 72.7 decibels, a mark that's less than what the S6's speaker produced. While it's not going to reverberate across large rooms, the headphone jack dishes up a more delightful experience with its stronger output. And of course, it's a beauty for watching videos. Even though the specs are no different from before, Samsung still makes some of the best screens around. The 5.1-inch Quad HD Super AMOLED screen is just as magnificent and detailed. Colors are accurate and true to life. That's presuming you're using the basic display mode, although adaptive mode does boost the contrast and saturation for a more alluring package. There's also the new always-on display, which shows the time and some notifications, even certain stock images. It's an evolution to what they've offered in the past, so now it's one less process on our part just to view those things from a glance. What's a bit shocking though is that there's a slight dip to its brightness and color temperature. They're not bad, since its 484 nits is still bright, and its 6800 Kelvin color temperature is still near that ideal reference point of 6500 Kelvin. It's nice that the glass on the front slope around the edges to meet the metal trim bezel, producing a more seamless finish. That's not all, just because it also adopts the Note 5's curved-back edges to give it a better feel in the hand. And while the same premium design language is back for a second go-through, there's one simple thing that cements its status, and that's the water-resistant construction that it reintroduces. Seriously, it's awesome that they brought back this feature, since it means that it could survive being used in the shower, in the rain, and even the unexpected spill. And yes, they've even brought back expandable storage with its incorporated micro SD slot. The nice thing too is that all the ports are water treated, so even though they're exposed and open, they're not going to be damaged. Throw in the fact that it still packs a responsive fingerprint sensor, a heart rate sensor, rapid charging, and wireless charging, it's still one of the most feature-filled devices out there. It's even better just because it's one of the few beautifully designed phones with an IP68 water-resistant construction. Sorry Sony, you're not the only one that does this anymore. The only thing here gone is the IR blaster. We know, it's unfortunate, but it seems few people use it. The camera in the back is now a 12 megapixel one. Don't be alarmed thinking that's setback, because it's really not, because it captures some breathtaking photos and videos. There's no compromise to its details capture, which is complemented with its proper exposure, bold colors, and a nice handling of dynamic range. And just like its predecessors, it's a master when it comes to shooting photos when the conditions are ideal. However, its low-light performance is what's most improved. It's mainly attributed to the larger 1.4 micron size pixels and dual pixel technology that it employs. Essentially, it's able to absorb in more light than most cameras, producing shots that are brighter and less noisy, without huge losses to its quality. Hardcore shutterbugs will love that the same camera interface is here, but we really wish it had a true manual mode for video recording. Whether you're shooting at 4K, Quad HD, or even 1080p resolution, you're gonna get fantastic results. There's a bit of a wobble effect with 4K capture when rolling the camera quickly. However, you're still getting great details, super fast autofocus, and crisp audio recording. The only disappointment we have relates to its battery life. They've been able to stuff an even beefier 3000 mAh battery, but still only achieves a good 1 day of normal use, so it's very much average. In our custom battery benchmark test, it sputters out after 6 hours and 37 minutes, which is a good 30 minutes shy of the S6. Luckily, the 88 minutes needed to bring it back to 100% is more efficient, so even for a short period of time, you'll charge a good chunk of the battery. You can pick up the S7 for roughly $700 through most carriers. It's still a premium cost, but there's no other phone with the same caliber of features in its package. The specs might not be a tremendous upgrade, but at the end of the day, when you want a phone that just works, the Galaxy S7 is exactly that device. When we think of a flagship, we envision something that just works flawlessly and without much hassle. And this is exactly that.